throw up a little information for you here on the latest from the Microsoft update that happened in mid-July. Uh, if you've had some of you may have experienced this adventure, and just want to let you know that we've got the solutions on the website at our blog, and what issues it causes and how to fix it. I also went ahead and down in the chat window, if you can find that, put the link to our blog for this, so that way you can just copy and paste that out for reference later. Perfect. All right, so if somebody could do me a favor and just if you can hear me okay, raise your hand, hit the raise your hand button for me, and perfect. All right, thank you. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started as we pull back into downtown St. Pete here. So today we're going to talk about costing, SOLIDWORKS Costing. Nice little add-in or feature that SOLIDWORKS has in Professional and Premium. Couple housekeeping things. If you're using or if you have the control panel open, you can collapse that to get it out of the way with the little orange arrow. And if you have any questions, feel free to type those down here in the bottom. We'll try to address those towards the end, and also after the webinar, those will get emailed to me, and we can always address them later offline later. So just want to let you know how to send those in. Perfect. All right, let's move down to again, just letting you know, just want to remind you that that Microsoft update has caused us a lot of grief. So again, grab this link from the chat window and take a peek at it. All right, let's dive into it. So costing is available to anybody with SOLIDWORKS Professional or Premium. It's ready to use, and the quotes are there because the lawyers make us put those in. It's ready to use with some qualification. But there are templates that come with it, and that information from those templates is linked with your drawing, and so you can evaluate cost changes on the fly. So really sweet tool. We can account for raw materials, different processes, manufacturing processes. We're going to take a look at that today. We're going to focus primarily on weldments and with the machining, but we will take a look at that. Your labor costs are included in there. Again, with manufacturing, with machining, feed speed, setup costs. So everything is built in there. Then you can customize that to fit your shop. And so great, handy tool that I think a lot of folks aren't looking at. Now, I will say it's probably suited more toward medium to small businesses where you don't have an additional purchasing software, because you don't want to have duplication of resources and have your SOLIDWORKS pricing things out at the same time you're dumping it to your purchasing department anyway. So there is that to look at. So what are the limitations? This is ready to use, mostly. You need to take the time to put in your shop-specific information, and we're going to look at where to put that information in, because for the most part, the tool's easy to use, but the devil is always in the details. So we're going to look at where to go and what to do there. And then for those of you who do use the weldment tool and would be using this with weldments, And if I've talked to you, you know I've sung the praises of the configured weldment profiles. They are just awesome. Uh, this tool won't work with them. So you'll have to switch back to the older profiles. Um, there are some workarounds if you don't have the old profiles. There's macros out there that'll let you just rip the configured profiles and save them out, which is another way to do this. Um, but those are pretty much it. You know, it does just take a little time to set up. But it is pretty straightforward to do that with filters and whatnot. So, all right, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So I grabbed just a nice little welded frame here, and nothing too exciting. And you could see here it's something we did with a customer, whole pile of configurations. So we're just going to look at one today. So first thing is we're going to activate our costing tool. So we're going to come up here to Tools, Applications, and Costing. Now I'm working in 2015 today because 2015 is when a lot of the new toys got added to costing, and that's what I wanted to look at with you today. So first things first, it's going to go ahead and update results, and we'll go ahead and let it do that. So here we've got our ladder, and you can see down at the bottom here that this is a pretty expensive ladder, $2,239 to be exact. And we're going to look at why that is. So we're looking at two sides of the screen. On the left-hand side here, we've got our setups. All of our structural bodies are listed here. Our welds, and you can see right now, I didn't add them all in. We can go in and add some to this. But we've got our 13 weld fillets there. Currently, I haven't added any custom operations. And down here at the bottom, all of our bodies have a cost assigned. So SOLIDWORKS was able to recognize everything. So not bad, not bad. So let's take a look though. The important stuff that to dive into are these templates right here. This is where all of your information is stored and all of the important stuff happens. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to launch the template editor, and we can get to that here in the software, or we can launch it from the start menu under SOLIDWORKS if you go to your particular version of SOLIDWORKS. But we'll go ahead and launch it here. And this is what we've got. So in all of the information here is pretty generic. This is for the multi-body template. Here we've got custom processes, and you can see I went ahead and added some processes here. Gold plating, because you just never know when you're going to need to gold plate a ladder. Powder coat, electro polish, but this is true for most every table in this particular tool. To add anything, it's just really straightforward process. We can just go ahead and galvanizing, and we want to do that probably by face, and galvanizing is going to cost probably a penny per square inch. The setup for galvanizing is going to be $300, but that is going to be per or over the lot size, and we don't want it included automatically. And that's all there is to it. And now we have another custom operation. So like I said, adding your specific information is really quick, really easy. And then with with this weld beads, this is where things get very shop specific, because now we've got our different weld methods, your machine cost, your labor cost, and setup. And so this is where you really need to sit down as a shop owner, shop manager, and figure out what your costs are. Um, then again, SolidWorks is going to look um, at the different welds and weld types. It's going to look at the weld symbol and actually read that from the part, and you can establish a cost for that right here. So, really intuitive, very, real-time information that you can get here, and evaluation you can make. And then here we've got just a quick fillet bead, operation cost, just again so that you can be able to look at those different costs as you work, but really easy to add additional information in here. Now we're going to drop down. This is the one we're going to play with today. This is the machining template, and this is where all the really cool stuff happens. So we'll look here. First thing is machining is materials, and we've got all our material listed here. We've got 6061 alloy. If we click here to add a material, you can see it pulls this directly from SolidWorks and the list of materials in SolidWorks. So if we decided we were going to work with some 775, we can add that. We're going to tell it it's plate, and again enter in the thickness and the cost of that material. So if we're buying that material as 25 or a quarter-inch thick, maybe that costs $8 a pound. And now we've got additional material in there that we didn't have before. Great, really quick, easy to add to pretty much anything. These four right here, plastics, casting, 3D printing, and structural members, all got added in 2015, and these are the new great tools that are fun to use and really made costing an outstanding tool to use. And again, we're going to go ahead and filter this. The filters are just awesome for drilling down to what you're working with. And here's some that I added, and again, this table is reading straight out of your Weldment Profiles folder. So if I come in here and select the class, and let's say I want to go ahead and add some 316 for this particular profile, we'll go in here, we'll find some 316. We're going to go ahead and stay working in ANSI inch, square tubing, and then we click here, and here's all of our weldment profiles. Let's go ahead and add some 1.5 inch 120, and then stock type. And you'll notice we have two different categories here, and we're going to look at those just shortly, but let's just go per length, and it drops us straight. It skips the stock length straight to cost, and let's have this be $10 a foot. And it already fills in that it's per foot cost. We'll come in here, do the same thing again. We'll go with that ANSI inch, 1.5 inch. This time we're going to go ahead, we'll hit stock length, and let's say we purchase this in 12-foot lengths. And when we purchase it in 12-foot lengths, it's actually $110. We get a little break. So now we've just added two new sizes or of material here. So we'll look at that some more. Here's where we get into some of our machining operations. You can see here we have a drill, our milling machine, our machining center, and you've entered a cost per hour for the machine, the labor, the machine RPMs, all your setup times, and all of this, and then how that's supposed to be divided up. Is it per part? Is it over a lot size, which we'll specify later, or just a total, this is what it is. So then we can come down here. We've got our cutting operations, water jet, plasma, laser, and again, those same costs are included here. We've got end cuts here, and then we've also got our plastic injection molding, die cast, and then our 3D printers all the way at the bottom. And we're not going to dive into these today, primarily because, as most of you know, I'm a big fan of weldment, so we're going to play with that first. But you've got all of your machine specs here, and your general machine settings are all right here. Then below that, you move into specific operations. And let's go ahead and get this list down to something usable. So here we've got our cutting per plate, the thickness of it, and the cost in it, or the time per cut in inches. So again, it's letting you set your rates for it, so that then when you come back up here, we can come in here and find out what that machine costs based on the charge per hour. So everything's nice and linked. It reads through the system really nicely, really nice. We've got our milling operations. Again, let's get this down. Filters are just great. You can come in, clean things up. Here we've got flat end mills. You've got your tool diameter, and a great graphic up here letting you know your feed rate, your speeds, depth of cut, everything's in here. And again, you can see if we decided we needed to add a new one, it's real quick and easy just to go ahead, add another roughing operation. Maybe we have a 1.5" tool, and we can go ahead and add that in so that it's available to us at a later date. So just, oops, come here. So great, quick, easy way to work on this. Really, really like that. So, and again, same thing all the way through. All of our charts, all of our tables are right there, ready to use. Oop, there it goes. Just proving once again that we don't have the magic SolidWorks that never breaks. Come on. And all right. So let's so that's the addition. Like I said, everything all the tables are set up the same. Really easy to work with. And edit, make, and customize to your use. So, all right. So let's go ahead. We'll hit save and take a look at this. close that out. All right, so now we've got our part here, and it's time to go ahead and let's look at how it's developed this cost for us. And it updates. Yeah, and we'll let it finish updating. Okay, so you can see here we can go ahead and add percent markup to that if we'd like. But one of the great things we can do here is we can come in and edit each of these bodies as we need to. And in fact, the first thing we're going to look at is these little plates down here. So if I just come up here, I'm going to double click on the cut list item. It brings me into the tool here. So now I can look at this. Now, this was actually set up and made using a flat bar profile that I had, but we're going to be cutting it out of plate. So let's go ahead and switch our manufacturing method to machining. And we were doing this in stainless steel, so let's go ahead and let it know that it's stainless steel. And now we can come down here and look at our stock body, how we're going to machine this. By default, let me zoom in here. You can see I've got a plate that's the exact size it needs to be. So for this purpose, we can probably leave that. But here you can see we can just drag our arrows out if we need to, add to it. Maybe we just want to do 1/4 of an inch on each side and go that route. We have here the option to override anything. If we need to increase the shop rate because of this, we've got options for overrides here. But I think we can go ahead and go with that. Now something else we can look at is on the other side here. Now that we've switched it to a machined part, it's actually added some folders here. We have a milling operation where it's cleaning off those faces, and then it's got a hole pattern, and it found all those for us. Really nice. We've got our setups for our different operations, and you can see here those are divided over the lot size. And here's our load and unload on the machine. So very intuitive. We can change this up. If we come in here, right now you can see it's using a face mill, and maybe that's not what we want to use. We've got the option to change that. We can pick a different size face mill. Maybe we'll reduce it down, and immediately you could see here in this case we didn't save any money at all, but you get that feedback immediately. Here you can see we've got we can add operations. Maybe we want to go ahead and use a reamer on this just for fun, and now we've got an increase in cost. So really nice tool, and once we're finished with that, we can go ahead and come back to our part, and it'll reflect the cost. Now I can tell you the reason this particular part is so expensive are our steps here. Even though, let's go ahead and double click and look at those. Even though these are actually a extruded profile, open, I had already gone in and changed this to be a milled part. So it created a chunk of aluminum, and we're going to just mill it. And Probably not the most cost-effective way to set this up, but this is for a CEO, and we want him to be comfortable in using this ladder. So, but you can see it's added all of our milling tools here, and again, we can go in and edit those and work with that. So, nice flexible tool. We'll go back to the part. Now another great tool. Let's grab our structural member here. So this time we're looking at a structural member, and you can see switching it over to 304 has increased our cost by 30%. And I had actually just gone in this morning and changed this because I wanted to show changing the cost. So here I went from 16th inch thick material to 8th inch, and it increased our cost 216%. What I want to do is I'm going to switch it back. So here's where we have a couple of options. That cost per length, or we can do per stock length. And oftentimes, you buy this material in a certain length, or you have leftovers, whatever. So you put that back into stock and know what you have. So we can go in and calculate based on that. And let's see if let's go ahead and change this to aluminum. 6061. There we go. So here with aluminum, I've entered both. So we've got cost per length, and by switching to aluminum for this material, we reduced our cost 29%. But now we want the customer to pay for our waste. And so once we do that, because we can only get 8 of these out of a 20-foot piece, when we look at our waste, it increases the cost 309%. So again, just a great way to be able to look at your cost, and take a look at how things are being set up. And then finally, because I'm going along, which isn't unusual, down here at the very bottom is a great little tool. For those of you who have worked with the FEA before and worked with the report generator there, we have the same tool available to us here. We can go ahead and enter company information, quote information here, where it's going to save this, and go ahead and publish that. And oh yeah, I moved things around, so it's not going to let me. Let's fix that real quick. Publish. Oh yeah, so where did I put that? I hate it when I move stuff without telling myself. All right, I'm going to fix this real quick. Any questions? Nobody's put anything up, which always scares me. I think maybe you've fallen asleep. Costing. Let's see. Language. Oh, there it is. All right, let's go ahead and we'll just come up here. Again, like everything else, we've got to make sure our file locations are in the right spots. Oh, and there's the problem. So let's go ahead and add a spot for that. And we're going to go to C drive, Program Files, the ever popular language, English, we've all been there. Click OK. Now we'll make our report, publish, generating report, and maybe it is a pretty serious report once it's done. So let's let it have a minute here. Yeah. And here it comes, getting an image for the report, all the different structural members, because it's going to give you a nice picture of each one, which might be a little excessive. And here it is. Let me bring that over so everybody can see it. So here we've got our costing report, and we've got the name, how many we're producing, per part cost. So really, and then it even breaks down. We've got our time. Oh, sorry, that just generated it for that particular part, for our one item. Wow, that's an expensive one little angle brace. But so yeah, so that's costing in a nutshell, gang. Like I said, you can play in here with the tools here on the left side of the screen, but I really wanted you to be able to see where you can go to fix these. This template editor, all the important information that you want and need to input is there. Oh, you know what we haven't done is gold plated this yet. Let's go ahead and add that in. And it's estimating our cost at $21,000. So we've increased our cost significantly, but once it's gold plated, it'll be beautiful. So, all right, gang, I think that's about it. Any questions? If not, you can always get a hold of me at come here. Where's my contact information? Yep. Yeah. There we go. You can always get a hold of me here at the office, or shoot me an email. Email is always great, and we'd be glad to chat with you some more. If you do have any questions you think of afterward, feel free to shoot those over to me, and I'll remote in and we'll take a look at things. But thanks for your time, and let us know what we can do to help you out. And it's not letting me get out of there. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but shoot me an email if you have any questions or want some help setting this up and understanding those weldment profiles, and I'll be glad to help out with that. Thanks.